Hello, WR Proud viewers, and welcome to a new season of Eagle Watch. Joining me for this show, UWL men's basketball coach, JT Gritzmacher. JT, how you doing this morning?
I'm good. I appreciate you having me on. I'm really looking forward to this. It should be a lot of fun.
Appreciate you taking the time, of course. I know it's pretty crazy with the schedule coming up. Season right around the corner. How's that all looking?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of coming through those last days of, I guess you could say preseason, but really just, before the season starts, our practices, and we have one more scrimmage this weekend, and then we got a week left, and we get going. And then before you know it, it's here. So just try to kind of tune up some final things, but we're ready to go.
You're in your second season here at UWL, starting your second season. For those who are unfamiliar with who you are, who's JT?
Yeah, I mean, I think just for me, like I got a lot of passion for coaching basketball, for improving these men and on the court, off the court. But just a lot of energy that I'm going to try to bring to this program. And really my goal is to really take this basketball program somewhere it's never been. And that's tough. That's hard, right? But it's something that we want to do every day and we work at every day as a program.
And you've had quite a bit of coaching experience leading up to here at UWL, including being a student manager at Milwaukee way back, which is what I was in college. A lot of fun.
Yep.
But how can that coaching experience you've had previously help you here?
Yeah, I think for me personally, just this is going into now my fifth year as a head coach, 3 years at Bryan Strand College, a junior college in Milwaukee, and now this will be my second year here. And I think each year you just kind of learn different things about yourself as a coach. You see different things. The experience that we have, like last year, was a lot of learning for me, just being in a new program, being around guys that have already been there and maybe have ways that they do things and trying to establish our ways. And then this year, just kind of having relationships already built and a foundation built with our team to be able to come in and really kind of just put our stamp on how we want to do things. I think is something I'm really excited about.
Head into this season, you guys capped off last season at 14-12, great home record, 8-4, returning tons of guys. How can you use that returning squad kind of as momentum?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for us is last year is we didn't win what we like to call out of the margins, right? So we weren't very good at the last 4 minutes of halves, at the last 4 minutes of games, and those things came back to bite us. And we just had little mistakes, whether it's free throws, just different things. And I think we had, of our 12 losses, I think we had 8 of them that were by 6 or less points. So like just little things that could experience helps, right? We had a lot of guys last year who didn't have a ton of minutes before playing last year, and you hope being able to see those things throughout the season as I did last year, as we go into this season and we're in those same scenarios, that experience can really help us.
So last season, again, you finished second in the conference. How can you replicate that, or as you said, take this program to new heights and win the conference?
Yeah, I think for us, I mean, it's the process of how we have to do things. We can't skip steps. Last year we started 0-2, and I think that brought us back a little bit as a team, because maybe we're looking ahead to other things that really didn't matter at the time. And we have to know that every game in front of us, we got to just take care of it and really handle business on those games. And I think this year, if you kind of just look at our non-conference schedule, I set it up in a way where it's tough. Like I think of our 11 teams, I think six of them I think made the NCAA tournament last year, and we had a couple other that won their conference but didn't get in the NCAA tournament. So we're gonna know who we are come January, and that's really the goal for us. Is I want to know who we are as a team. I want us to play some real meaningful games so that when we get to our conference, we're ready to go, versus maybe playing some games that we can just win, and then when we get there, we haven't found out who we really are yet.
So talking about that non-conference schedule, 3 teams are in the top 25. A couple others received votes in the preseason poll. What does this non-conference schedule do as far as preparing you for the gauntlet that is the WIAC?
Yeah, I mean, it was cool, right? When I made the schedule, now you look back on it like, all right, maybe we shouldn't have did it, but no, I'm just kidding. I think that it's fun, right? That's why you come to lacrosse. In my mind, that's why we want to come here and play basketball, is you want to play the best teams in the country. You want to have an opportunity to be one of the best teams in the country, and the only way you can do that is by playing and beating the best teams in the country. So for us, like, we want that challenge. Like, I know I do. I know our guys are competitive, and they do. And it builds something for our team, because when you win those games, it helps your team. It makes your team just become closer, because you see what it takes. You put in all this work in practice, follow the scout, and now if you can go and handle business in some of these games, it really puts you in a spot where you become closer as a team. And then for us, it's just the confidence that I think our guys have in each other right now. And like I tell them, we know who we are as a basketball team, but you still got to go perform and do what you're supposed to on the court, and I know we'll be ready to go.
So speaking of top 25 a little bit more, I was looking into it, and the Eagles received a couple of votes. How can that kind of give you guys motivation at the end of this year to be even better?
Yeah, I think I'll be honest. Like for me, that the preseason poll is always kind of it doesn't mean a ton to me because a lot of it's based off of last year. A lot of teams have transfers. I mean, the team who won the national tournament last year, Trine, they weren't even in the top 25 last year. So in the preseason, so like it can be a lot of just maybe what a team did in the past. But it's cool for our team to be recognized in that sense. But at the end of the day, if we go to Eau Claire and we don't handle business, or we start the month of November in a bad spot, it won't matter. Versus vice versa, if we do what we're supposed to do, then it's kind of putting us to a spot that we can show that maybe, hey, we should have been higher than we are in these polls. And I think that for us, we try not to. We recognize it. We know those polls are there. We know the conference polls are there. You see it, but we see it, and then we kind of just put it to the back of our mind, and we know we got to get to work and do what we got to do for our team every day.
So yesterday I went to practice and got a little bit of video, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing from the guys just based off of that one practice. What are some of your favorite qualities of this year's team?
I mean, they work. I'll say that. Like yesterday, the practice you were at, that was an early one. That was one of our 6 a.m. practices, and those can always be hard, right? The guys, they can start a little slow, but they put the work in. Like they do what we ask them to do, and that's what I tell them every day. Like I love them guys for just doing what we ask them to do, and they do it really hard. Like they don't complain about things. There's things that maybe sometimes we're asking them to do a lot, and we got a high standard with stuff, and they just go to work and do what they're supposed to do. And one thing we talk about is if you do that, if you embrace that process of doing all these things and the conditioning, the work and the practice, the study halls, it gives you an opportunity maybe to like play for what you're ultimately trying to play for. So we don't know that we're going to get to play for what we want to play for, but at least by doing all these things, it puts us in an opportunity to have a chance. And I think they're believing that, and they buy into what we're talking about, and they believe it together. We can preach a thing, we can talk about something as coaches, but if the players don't buy into it or believe it, it means nothing. And we got a really good group of guys, and we got a really good leadership team, as we call it, and they're really keeping the team together.
JT, things are definitely looking good heading into this season. Thank you for your time for this first show. Viewers, listeners, thank you as well. Best luck in a couple weeks, and go Eagles.
Sounds good. I appreciate it, Danny.